Like to introduce the topic of the paper. Tool for management and planning of the fuel and energy complex taking into account the production potential of coal mining enterprises. Actuality. Despite the intensive development of methods and means for renewable energy sources and the use of alternative energy, the dynamics of coal production growth is positive both in the main coal-producing countries and globally. Moreover, in 2022, due to the energy crisis, mines in Belgium, Germany, and France will start restoring their operations. However, in today's environment, along with studying certain aspects of coal mining, it is particularly important to study the mechanism of reviving the industry's potential, which was disrupted by the instability in the eastern regions of Donbass. One of the priority measures today is to normalize the pricing policy in order to compete with natural gas and to identify investment objects to ensure the expanded reproduction of the coal industry's potential. Some aspects of this problem are outlined in this paper. Based on the above, the purpose of this paper is to develop a tool for managing and planning the fuel and energy complex, taking into account the production potential of Ukrainian coal mining enterprises. Based on the above, tool for management and planning of the fuel and energy complex taking into account the production potential of coal mining enterprises is an urgent scientific task. Imbalance of different types of prices. In the figure you can see the imbalance in the price performance of producers of commercial coal products in recent years. Unfortunately, the old economic system of attracting and distributing additional resources from above, depending on changes in the level of targets, has been preserved in the coal industry. Such a balance sheet model is inherently price inert. At any price, planned, estimated, optimal, market, its calculation parameters do not change. This opened up the possibility of using estimated prices, including planned prices, so intersectoral proportions were maintained not by prices but artificially, for example, by the planning and distribution system. For such a system, prices always remain its external element. At the level of local production systems, the imbalance of different types of prices, Fig. The existence of a division of the industry into conditionally planned and market ones leads to the existence of a number of producers of commodity products whose local optima interests conflict with the global optimum, national interest. A forecast balance matrix model and a mathematical formulation of the problem. The first necessary step to form an optimal balance sheet model is to identify all participants in the coal market, the actual volumes of coal production, and the schemes by which it is distributed for consumption. The basis for determining the quantitative indicators of production and consumption of commodity products by enterprises of a particular industry is the forecast balance sheet matrix model, Table 1, which includes the final products of all production units of the industry, Quadrant E, the costs of its production, Quadrant I, and the total income, Quadrant IE, which includes the sum of wages and net income of all enterprises of the industry. Quadrant IV of the balance sheet is located at the intersection of the final output and income columns, and it reflects the final distribution and use of the industry's total income. Final output refers to products that move from the production sector to the final use sector, for consumption, accumulation, and export. Such a model is called the main task of production planning and allows us to divide the process of optimization calculations and analysis of optimal solutions into 3 stages. Finding the best production methods and minimum labor costs for a given vector of final products based on the model. Determination of the volume and structure of the variable part of the final product. Different criteria and conditions for maximization can be used. Calculation of a balanced production plan that ensures the output of all final products with limited resources. We consider it expedient to solve this expression as an open-ended optimization model with limited throughput capacities of suppliers, mines, and stochastic values of the parameter. Moreover, determining the optimal values of the desired production volumes xj is not the main task. More important are the answers to the questions about the impact on the mine's efficiency of each of the resources used, as well as the technical and economic parameters that shape the enterprise's potential for prices and reducing the degree of unprofitability. It should be emphasized once again that the degree of utilization of production resources of mines is so inefficient that the shadow price of these resources cannot correspond to their true value, as laid down in the boundary theorems of duality. If we assume that the coefficients in the expression for the objective function are random variables, then the values of all controlled variables xj are determined in the absence of information about what values the parameters of the functional cj will actually take. This situation arises in real life when solving the problem of mine planning, when future sales prices, which depend on poorly predictable changes in demand and the future cost of materials and energy at the time of plan development, were not strictly known. Conclusions. Until now, the approach to the quantitative description and consideration of socio-political factors, strategy and tactics of economic activity in the coal industry is implemented within the traditional scheme of inter-industry balance. In particular, in macroeconomic models, the variables characterizing the economic activity of the state are usually classified as exogenous, and the scenario blocks that form a set of exogenous variables are postulated or justified by political hypotheses. The degree of unprofitability and the level of unprofitable state subsidization mines should be determined in such a way that the minimization of the price of coal products is built in parallel with the maximum satisfaction of subsidy applications for the tariff agreement and the excess of the cost price over the price. This achieves an appropriate balance of prices depending on the priority of mines in terms of coal quality and the level of economic reliability of the enterprise. The relationship between the balance models of all levels of management is especially important regardless of the planned or market orientation of coal mining enterprises. The formed matrix model of the balance of commercial coal products is aimed at avoiding an imbalance in the sectoral coal market and significantly reducing unjustified costs both on the part of the state and on the part of mining enterprises due to the optimization of planned and forecast indicators. Thank you for attention.